Hi there and welcome to Plus Health Company's video tutorial on why your buttocks influence your knee and your foot posture. So commonly we sit on our buttocks for large parts of the day and we don't necessarily consider how many muscles there are lurking in there as we sit. So the buttocks are really important for lots of reasons and they influence the pelvis very specifically. So the muscles that you can see on Ralph's bones here, the buttock muscles sit from the sacrum, which is the bone that sits at the very lowest part of your spine, so below where you would consider your lower back to be, and they move across kind of like this orientation, so across and insert onto the femur, so the top of the thigh bone, and that is what you refer to as the ball within the ball and socket of your hip joint. So there are several buttock muscles in each cheek and they all have a slightly different job, and depending on the position of your hip relative to your knee and vice versa, that can also influence the way in which the muscles around your buttock work. But the muscles in your buttock have a few different roles. So the muscles of the buttock help to keep the pelvis balanced when you stand onto one leg and avoid what we refer to as a Trendelenburg. So that Marilyn Monroe style hip that you may notice sometimes a sort of waddling gait, or maybe at the latter stages of pregnancy. So they help to keep the pelvis really balanced and avoid this feeling of tipping, sinking or hitching. They help us to orientate our legs, so from parallel stance as I am now to a turnout position, that's known as external rotation, internal rotation, so sometimes referred to as pigeon toe, and then they also move the leg out to the side and behind. So you can look at various combinations of movement, and they're the primary roles of the muscles of the buttocks. So out to the side, behind us, turning out, turning in. So if you have relatively weaker turning out muscles, so external rotators of your hip, then your knees are more likely to move inwards, roll inwards. So this might be noticeable when you bend your knees, they sort of come together more easily, or you might notice that your foot arches are a little bit diminished on the inner perspective of your feet. So you might like to just try squeezing your buttock muscles. Imagine you've got a £50 note that you're trying to hold between them, and that may immediately make a significant difference to the alignment of your knees and feet. So that is the more common way to notice a difference. And if you increase your stability and your strength in your external rotators, then typically when you stand and when you challenge your body more, like when you work on single leg squats or lunges, that you start to really notice the benefit. So if you have knee trouble or ankle problems, then the likelihood is that the best place to start is by having an assessment of your buttock muscles, seeing how they're performing for you and working on some repertoire to help strengthen those. So if you're interested in how you might like to achieve that, then check out our video on gluteal strengthening. But for now, hopefully you feel a little bit more aware of how your buttock muscles will influence the alignment of your knees and feet. So thanks for listening. Until next time, bye for now.